this differently, and the only way to resolve those sorts of differences is to have it wind up in front of the U.S. Supreme Court. I think what's even more likely is that the Supreme Court may say, refuse to deal with this issue on the merits and say, look, we're going to let Congress deal with this, try to sort it all out, then figure out what's going to happen, rather than decide a case of this magnitude on the very sketchy facts that are available about this program, because still, to this day, not a lot of detail is known about what kind of surveillance goes on in this warrantless way.
Well, one way of resolving it would be for Congress to enact new legislation giving the executive branch this kind of authority to go forward with the warrantless wiretaps. That's what Senator Specter, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, wants to do. But we just heard Alberto Gonzalez say they think this program is legal and no additional legislation is necessary. Who's going to win that fight?
Well, I do think that this opinion will strengthen Senator Specter's argument that Congress needs to step in and make a clear rule that is without a doubt constitutional. But, Wolf, as you know better than I, Congress is not doing much these days leading up to the election. It's very hard to get Congress to agree on anything, much less something as controversial as the struggle between individual liberty and national security. The odds against Congress coming together on something of that importance. At the same time, they have to deal with the question of how to handle the inmates at Guantanamo because of the Supreme Court decision, another legislative project that looks like it's going nowhere fast. Even though this will be a spur to Congress to try to resolve it, there doesn't seem to be much chance that Congress actually will resolve it before the election, which is only in 80-some days away.
Jeff Tobin, thanks very much. Jeff's going to be back with us later this hour. Let's check in with Jack Cafferty. He's in New York with the Cafferty file. Jack?
Well, you know, it seems like we're having this discussion about this judge's ruling sort of in the abstract, as though there's no precedent for what the judge decided. The judge, in effect, upheld the ruling of the FISA court, which says if you want to wiretap phones, you need a warrant to do so. The court was created by Congress in 1978, I think it was, and the law of the land says get a warrant. The actions of the administration have ignored the law of the land in that regard. So it's not a discussion in the abstract. It's not hypothetical. There are laws on the books against what the administration is doing. And it's about time somebody said it out loud. This federal district judge ruled today, President Bush is breaking the law by spying on people in this country without a warrant. The judge said the president is violating the First Amendment to the Constitution, the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution, and the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA, passed by Congress 1978, specifically to prevent this kind of abuse of power. It was being done before. That's why the FISA court was created in the first place. So what does this mean? It means President Bush violated his oath of office, among other things, when he swore to uphold the Constitution of the United States. It means he's been lying to us about the program since it started, when he's been telling us there's nothing illegal about what he's doing. A court has ruled it is illegal. And it means a 75-year-old black female judge in Michigan has finally stepped in and done the job that Congress is supposed to do, namely oversight of the executive branch of government. But the Congress is controlled by the Republicans, and they are controlled by the president, and they have done nothing in the way of oversight. I hope it means the arrogant inner circle at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue may finally have to start answering to the people who own that address. That would be us, about how they conduct our country's affairs. But we want to know what you think. Here's the question. What does a federal judge's ruling that the NSA spying program is illegal mean for President Bush? Email your thoughts to CaffertyFile@CNN.com or go to CNN.com/CaffertyFile. Wolf?
Jack, thanks very much. We're also going to speak in the next hour with the 9/11 co-chairman